when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Tobago. As we continue to give God thanks, I am
Adana. This is the Lord has made, and we will continue to rejoice and be glad in it. What a beautiful day to be in the land of the living. What a day it is. Of course, it's Tuesday, 16th January 2024, smack in the middle of the month. We have 15 more days to go to carry us over to the end of January. So we're getting there to the end of January and sailing smoothly into 2024. Julian, what happened yesterday evening? Speed with
heading in around the lineup in terms of the recommendations going out there. I know there are those who went to everyone in the lineup, but certainly we are in that season, so it's that kind of time of year and lending support, and I'm just very happy to see the kind of progress that we are making, particularly with Steel Pan. I don't even think I need to say more.
That's right. You know, everybody's a part of it. Everybody's just following, and you know, this is the pride with it that really appreciating and their art, and people are trying give the best of themselves. So I think it also is a measure of pride in the things that we do, and it's so good to see that people are actually investing in their talent, investing in their art, and so, you know, improving on their skills and bringing people along on the journey to see where they are going with what they are doing. So I'm really happy to see that we are supporting them, and happy to see that we too can be a part of what this is, as it brings Tobago even on the map, even in a more cultural way, in that type of sense.
Certainly. And they got started yesterday in the Tobago region with three of our bands here for the medium category, and based on my information, they're heading to the northern region today in Trinidad. So we continue to look forward to the full prelims rollout, and then of certainly those results that take us to the hype and the energy as we get closer to the carnival season, and definitely looking forward to the finals of the medium band category. Dana, what's been happening with you within the day into the evening yesterday?
Well, it's the same thing, you know, the excitement with the pan, and of course I had to take a little rest because, you know, there's something going around in the air and I don't want to fall victim, so I had to drink my hot.
Spoke of that.
That's right. He spoke of that emphatically yesterday, and you know, so I was just making sure I had my hot fluids and chewing on the ginger and stuff like that. So I took some time to make sure that I'm good for this morning. So that's what's been happening with me outside of all the other activities happening on the island.
If I were in a different space, you know, with my grandmother, and they would say, Dana, like you grew up with old people, man, when you talk about these remedies.
That's right.
But certainly, folks, we're heading straight on over to news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Julian and Adana. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Tuesday, 16th January 2024. A call via social media for persons to protest for outstanding payments owed to Tobago Heritage 2023 service providers failed yesterday, with only 2 individuals present but hesitant to speak on camera. Secretary of the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation, Tasha Burris, showed up at the protest site despite feeling unwell and addressed the situation of delayed payments. She said there were challenges due to the recent procurement legislation. She also highlighted an existing policy to streamline performer engagement. Burris expressed a commitment to enforce the policy and address outstanding payments in the shortest possible time. Minority Leader Kelvon Morris hand-delivered a letter to the Auditor General in Port of Spain, Trinidad yesterday, as he called for a comprehensive audit into the spending irregularities by the THA for the Tobago October Carnival 2023. Morris alleged that although $9.5 million was budgeted for the carnival, the actual expenditure reported by the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation was lower. Morris insisted these irregularities needed an investigation. He also sent similar letters to the Minister of Finance, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, and the Chief Administrator. And a new dress code policy was implemented in offices across Trinidad yesterday, aimed at establishing an inclusive dress code to improve the quality of public service. Senator Alison West reassured that the Ministry of Public Administration would not be adhering to outdated rules and policies. The policy was influenced by public feedback and researches addressing issues such as denial of service, global trends, and non-alignment with government policies. Throughout the implementation process, 430 staff underwent training on the policy and proper treatment of the public regarding of their attire. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Welcome back indeed. And at this point, Adana, who do we have coming up in the rundown this morning?
Right, so we have interesting conversations this morning, and we're speaking with Gary Griffith this morning, former police commissioner of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. We're going to have conversations with him. We're also speaking with Candice Robinson, chairman of Tuco Tobago Region, and Opukuwari, the PRO for Tuco Tobago Region, and we're talking about Tuco Tobago for Carnival 2024. Yes, Tuco Tobago Carnival, the situation there. And then we speak with Cameron Bruno. On Interdepartment Personality, Division of Finance, Trade and the Economy. We're talking about the 2024 Interdepartment Personality show that takes place, as you know, leading up to Carnival here in Tobago. So we're going to have those conversations this morning on the morning show.
Excellent. Shout outs this morning. I see in the mix with us, Marcia Allen Boucher. Yes, my neighbor on the outside there, good morning to you, and thank you so much for the continued support. In the mix, Mrs. Charles out there in Susulands, Lisa James. I see Wayne Clark on with us this morning as well. Good morning to each and every one of you, and thank you so much for tuning in. At this point, viewers, we're heading on over to our birthday shout outs.
This morning on screen is Suzette McKenzie. Suzette McKenzie is celebrating a birthday today, and we want to say happy birthday to you, Suzette, from all of us here at the Tobago Updates family. Happy birthday to you. And next, it's Janelle McConey Critchlow. She also is celebrating a birthday today, and we want to say happy birthday to you, Janelle. We wish you God's blessings upon your life as you enter this new chapter of your life, coming from all of us here at the Tobago Updates family. Happy birthday to you.
Happy going out to you, Janelle, indeed, wishing you continued blessings. All right, viewers. So as we head on into this morning, we're looking forward to having our discussion started with Gary Griffith this morning, and certainly we have an excellent lineup going for you. We want to thank you so much for continuing to choose the Tobago Updates morning show, and to remind you that this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
You come in. Long time I see you. This station pumping. Ready for children party. Mommy! Jay, you can't go nowhere with these children. And you know you can't depend on Kevin neither Steven to see about them. Yeah. Total waste. So I supposed to stay home whole time? Jada is 12. She could see about that. You just leave Jada to see about Kia and Kayla. I thought it's your mother or your sister. Who? Them always busy. Jada could handle that. She cooking and cleaning a long time. And the next two better know what time it is. It's only me, you know. I will talk to my mother. She just home these days. She will make sure the children okay. Alright. Let me see the moves for later.
Before you ramage, make sure the children okay. Call 996 to report all child abuse now. A message from the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago.
Now, if you pull a random person aside and ask them, can you tell me what Tobago's autonomy is all about? Would they be able to answer you? The sad reality is, they wouldn't. Many young persons from the island of Tobago have not been engaging in the discussions when it comes to Tobago's autonomy. And while that may be a problem, thankfully Tobago Updates has found a solution. We have gathered some of Tobago's best and brightest young persons to hear their views, their thoughts and opinions about Tobago's autonomy. Last week we heard from young people such as Ms. Jada Charles, youth parliamentarian, Keegan Danoon, President of the Boko Village Council and former CARICOM Youth Ambassador, Darian Mitchell, President for TYC, and myself in my capacity as CARICOM Youth Ambassador. We touched on the surface a bit, but thankfully this week we will be taking things a bit deeper. So, on Wednesday the 17th of January, tune in right here on Tobago Updates Live at 7 a.m. as we discuss all things Tobago autonomy from a deeper perspective. Is Tobago ready or are we not? We'll find out together.
Yo everyone, it's your boy Harry here from Authentic Builders General Hardware, located right here in Stobie Local Road, Tobago. That's correct, right here in Tobago. And we are offering you guys the best prices on all hardware material. And if you would like to get your free quotation done, all you have to do is WhatsApp us at 272-1990 and we will give you guys the best prices on all hardware material. That is a guarantee as we are matching or beating any quotations.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. Never ever worry if sickness catch you off guard. I tell them never ever worry if times fall on you real hard. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you. Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Hey, hello guys, welcome. Come have a seat. Oh, this is so stylish and I love the fabric. Darlings, you must tell us where you got your new furnishings.
We got them locally at Standard. They've got new chic European furniture, crafted from high quality material.
Oh, Standard?
No, it's Standard, their brand new Hive collection.
Experience luxurious European furniture at a price you will love. The Hive collection, now exclusively available at Standard.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
everyone, it's your boy Harry here from Authentic Car Clinic, located right here in Tobago at Store Bay Local Road. You can WhatsApp us or call us at 366-4173.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning. Good morning, morning.
And welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. We begin conversations with our guests. We're speaking with Gary Griffith. He is the former police commissioner of the TTPS, and we're talking about PSC former chairman merit list withdrawal. Good morning, Mr. Griffith. Good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning to you and to your many viewers.
Right.
Good morning.
Good morning. We're having this conversation this morning, and we're talking about the withdrawal of the merit list. So we want to know where we are with this and your perspective on this.
Sure. So to clarify, this has been going on for over 2 years. We heard the false, misleading, and mischievous statements by politicians in the government where they claimed that there was a massive, well-oiled criminal industry, there was major corruption. And 30 months later, 2.5 years later, not one senior police officer has been arrested, not one firearm dealer has been arrested, firearm holder has been arrested. In the 4,000 firearms that were issued, again, nothing has taken place, none was lost, stolen, or used for a crime under my watch. So now all of this, the Prime Minister submitting a piece of paper to the chairman of the Police Service Commission. This is why it has gone to court. The court is the one place that has not been politically manipulated by the government, where the government they have pulled themselves into the police service, into the Integrity Commission, the Industrial Court, every single thing. And just as the Chief Secretary had stated, where the Prime Minister needs to mind his business. In this situation, there was blatant interference. The reason this has gone to court is because of 3 things. Firstly, to make any decision, I say to suspend a police officer, it must come from the Police Service Commission. This was not done. So this is going to reveal a lot to the country now, that this former chairman decided to withdraw a merit list without the approval of the Police Service Commission. And the reason we have that, we have the minutes of the Police Service Commission, and at no time was there anything about me being suspended. So she decided to suspend a sitting substantive Police Service Commissioner without the approval of the Police Service Commission. So in other words, the chairman does not have that authority. This is not a Prime Minister who can just make a decision and cabinet will just blindly agree. Every decision made in the Police Service Commission must be based on votes. So if there are 4 persons, it must be 3-1. And if it is 2-2, then she will have the casting vote. There was never any decision or even anything to consider to suspend me, because there was nothing to warrant a suspension. So she went ahead and sent a letter to suspend me without the approval of the Police Service Commission. That is very dangerous territory, what she has done. It is unethical. She did not have the approval. Secondly, she then went and withdrew the merit list without the approval of the Police Service Commission because she had access to the letterhead. So she decided to go and go to President's house, treat it like a post office, meet the Prime Minister, and withdraw the merit list from President's house without the knowledge or approval of the Police Service Commission. And again, to clarify this, up to now, no one in our media asked and the other members of the Police Service Commission, why did you resign? That is why they resigned. They resigned in disgust because of the political interference, because of the actions by the chairman of the Police Service Commission by deciding to withdraw merit list and suspend a commissioner without their knowledge or approval. And that is why it is they resigned. The final point is, which is mind-boggling, she decided to do this based on the Prime Minister giving her a piece of paper with a man giving his own views about something. That is madness. You can't withdraw a merit list because a Prime Minister gave you a piece of paper. This individual that wrote that is a citizen. So he's one of 1.4 million civilians. And Keith Rowley, in the same way, he just found this piece of paper called email, get in his mailbox, and then went to Parliament to smear and slander people's names. He did the same thing again with this piece of paper, because there was a team that I approved to do an audit and to look at how we can improve firearm issue. And it involved two individuals. Both individuals had to be involved in signing a document to verify. This was not that. This was one man giving his own personal view. How could you, as a chairman of the Police Service Commission, decide to withdraw merit list because somebody gave you a piece of paper stating, well, this is what I believe, this is what I have heard? So Bliss Prasad has a lot of questions to answer in court.
To you, Gary Griffith. As you said, this matter has been going on for some time. The individual in question has since resigned, if my information is accurate, in or around 2021. You have now taken the decision, or rather it's now coming forward in terms of taking the matter further. What do you hope to achieve?
Well, again, to expose to the country the blatant manipulation that would have taken place, that again, the whole country is suffering because of this decision. Because remember, at the time the police had gone through proper transformation, it was the highest reduction in violent crime in 17 years. Public trust and confidence in the police moved from 14 to 59%. After what she did, it went down to 8%. Crime moved from 342 murders in my last year to over 600. So this one decision by this one individual, by and large, provided a domino effect for the country to be in the situation it is in right now. Additionally, this is going to expose and show to the country the damning effects of when politicians get involved and interfere with independent organizations. Keith Rowley decided to get involved, treat the police, the president's house as a post office, give a piece of paper to a chairman, and she decided to use that. It was not an official document. It was not from a committee that was actually appointed in any form or fashion, and she did that to withdraw a commissioner of police, to withdraw merit list, and to cause total chaos in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and in that of the Police Service Commission, that caused a Police Service Commission to resign. And so that is now going to show once and for all of this madness that took place. Who has benefited from it? The criminals have benefited. It has affected us internationally. It has put fear in every single citizen. It has caused arguably a massive increase in crime, all because Keith Rowley decided to find a piece of paper and decided to give it to this former chairman. And the minutes also says, the minutes stated that this document that she had was signed by one individual. So a civilian could just, any civilian who doesn't like somebody could just write something, give it to somebody in charge of an independent body, and they will use that to withdraw merit list, shut down the findings and the agreement by the Police Service Commission of who they wanted to be the commissioner, and suspend the commissioner of police. This year is going to expose a lot once and for all to the public.
What would you say to those who may make the point that, while they have confidence in your ability to be able to treat with crime fighting and so on, and they were very pleased with your performance as police commissioner at the time based on your ratings, what would you say to those people who indicate this is probably just going in a direction now of becoming political? Because ultimately, we do not necessarily see in the foreseeable future this current Prime Minister going back to find favor with Gary Griffith, and probably nor is Gary Griffith even interested in finding favor with this current Prime Minister to be able to return. So some persons looking at that perspective may see it as, all right, this has become purely politics now and is no longer about the security of the country. How do you respond to that?
Well, it will show that they have 2 or 3 brain cells. You can't be that stupid. You can't be that dumb to say that a chairman of a police service commission, an independent body, did something illegal, did something unethical, did something without approval, and we must ignore it? You can't be that dumb. You obviously went to school in August to state that a police service commission chairman did something without the approval of the police service commission, and that is political because I am bringing it to the forefront. A police service commission chairman decides to make a decision to suspend a sitting commissioner of police without the authorization of the police service commission, and that is me bringing that to the attention of the public is political. A police service commission resigning in disgust, and me letting the country know why they resign in disgust, that is being political. A police service commission chairman making such a radical decision because one civilian gave a piece of paper with his personal view about something that you could put on letters to the editor. And that is why she made that decision. And that is political. Anybody who says that, it shows ignorance at the highest level, and it will show they're being political because they are now they are concerned, and rightfully so, that this is going to expose Keith Rowley for his incompetence and his pettiness by taking a piece of paper that somebody gave him that had no merit, that had no substance, that was not an official document, and he used that to give to a police service commission chairman, and she used that to withdraw a merit list that caused a mayhem in the country. If anybody sees that as being political rather than seeing it as exposing a massive conspiracy that would have taken place because of the personal agenda by politicians, all I can state is that those persons, their few brain cells have been burnt out.
Mr. Griffith, we always feel your passion and we always feel your fervency when it comes to fighting crime and working on the side of ensuring that crime is at bay. So putting all the politics aside and putting all the feelings and emotions aside, what is your position now? Should we be able to deal with all the situations that are on the table now? And should we be able to go back to the same table and say, listen, we want to give you the position of cop again? What is your response to that?
No, I've been there, done that. I have served, I've done my tour of duty. Now I have to be in another position of another level, not just to transform the police service, but to assist in transforming every single arm in our national security: customs, immigration, the army, the coast guard, the air guard, the prisons, the fire services, and also other arms in the public service. The same way I was able with my team to transform what was seen as probably the most corrupt and non-productive arm in the public sector, which was the police service. That was the perception, because it was 14% public trust and confidence when I got in. We put it from 14 to 59%, and then when we left, it went back down to 8%. So what my intention is not to go back there to do something that I already achieved as Commissioner of Police. It is to go back in another position, not just to transform the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, but to transform every single arm in the public sector, to bring them to optimum level of productivity by having proper leadership, good management, measuring their performance, and making persons accountable. And that the country will now be able to prosper. It will assist the country tremendously. It will be able for us to find systems to reduce corruption, to improve productivity, to make sure checks and balances take place, to ensure that the public can get proper satisfaction by all different arms in the public sector. That is my intention. So I said, if I was able to transform what was seen as probably the most difficult and least productive in the public service to being seen as the most productive, I intend to be now in government to transform every arm of the public sector.
Very quickly before we close, the CPSAD would have been served in December of 2023. What are you anticipating as the next step in this matter?
Well, again, she will now need to defend herself, but she will be put before the court and she will have to answer, why did you take a piece of paper from a prime minister and it was not an official document, and use that as rationale to turn the whole of Trinidad and Tobago's national security upside down? Why did you make that decision without the approval of the Police Service Commission? Why did you suspend a sitting commissioner of police? Why did the Police Service Commission resign in disgust? So she now will have to answer to the court and also to the public. And the public now will be aware once and for all of the nastiness, the underhandedness that would have taken place. And anyone who would vote for politicians that would have done something like this, that has directly caused the country to now be drowning in blood, well, I feel very sorry for you.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much. We're going to leave it there for this morning. And Gary Griffith, a former commissioner of police, certainly not letting the matter go at all. He's going all the way out to ensure that the relevant details are publicized so that the country knows what would have taken place at that time, and certainly gives him an opportunity to be able to set his name free in these circumstances for those who may wonder or may question or may think that he's just operating out of bad mind. All right, thank you so much, Gary Griffith, for joining us here on set this morning. And viewers, we have coming up next on the Tobago Updates morning show, we have Opoku Wari and Candice Robinson, and they're representing the Tuco Tobago region. All right, so we look forward to those upcoming discussions regarding the Tuco Tobago region. All right, viewers, we want to remind you that this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
JK Tech, we bring technology to your doorstep. From cutting-edge laptops to reliable printers, we've got it all. Nationwide delivery and a new website for easy online ordering. JK Tech is your one-stop shop for your electronics and computer needs. Carrying top brands such as Acer, Samsung, HP, and much more. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at JKTechTT or visit jktechtt.com. Quality tech is just a click away. JK Tech. Evaluate your shopping experience, your tech, your way. Call or WhatsApp 383-2651. Shop smart, shop JK Tech.
Don't be fearful or ignorant about diseases. The opportunity to learn how to effectively work with or even reverse sicknesses is here. Do you know someone that is suffering from an illness? You are invited to come and learn in this in-depth, hands-on training program. Call this number and reserve your space in this God-inspired, hands-on medical missionary training program going on in Tobago. See you there.
Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning. Good morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. I'm Julian Skeet, and we're just at about 7:31 a.m. this morning. And in this segment, we are chatting. We have on set with us Candice Robinson, Chairman and Opukuwari PRO of the Tuco Tobago region. Good morning to you both, and welcome.
Good morning, Julian. Thanks for having us.
All right. As we get the conversation started, I know we got a conversation started somewhat just a few just a few weeks ago in terms of the taking on of this role and responsibility.
Right.
I want you to start by putting into context, where things are at currently with relations to Tuco for the Tobago region.
Well, at this time, we just having our tents. We're doing our tent. We had the opening on the 29th of December at the Esplanade, and it was not the opening, the launch of Calypso in Tobago, and it was splendid occasion. It was fully attended. On Sunday the 7th, we were at Buku once again. That was a magnificent event where we had a good, very well turnout. The tourists enjoyed themselves. It was a wonderful time, right? On Friday the 12th, we were at Shorty's, another ball of a time. Saturday the 13th, we were at Charlottesville, and we were well accepted by the Charlottesville Village Council and the villagers of Charlottesville. It was a wonderful, again, event. It was most appreciated.
So I want you to tell us a little bit about the likes. So for persons hearing this lineup, don't worry, folks, there's more coming up. You're not just here to talk about what has happened already. Just give us a little sense for those who have not been there yet. Who are they able to see on stage, the likes of and so on in our Tobago space?
Okay, well, we have as part of our cast, we have the Tobago Soca Monarch Nom Nom. We have our Tobago Monarch who earned his coveted spot in the National Calypso Monarch Finals, Mr. Dylan Thomas. We have Wendy Garrick, we have Nicole Thomas. Not forgetting the soca acts as Guma and Showstopper, Mr. Pocky. And we have, what's the other guy name again? Well, there's a lot of them.
Yes.
Yeah, so, and we have Prince Unique as guest artist as well. So it's a wonderful, wonderful cast, and I must say they've been cooperating very well and doing exactly what is expected of them. So this season is great.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And we want to bring you in the conversation here, Opukuwari, Public Relations Officer. And I also want to get your perspective. I know you have toiled in the vineyard for some time, to ensure that things are where it is at for today in terms of Tuco. And I'm certain you still have more that you want to see happen for Tuco. How do you feel in relation to what some may describe as the progress and the movement of Tuco from then to where things are at now?
Well, the whole thing is about the Calypso art form, and we have to recognize that Calypso is a beautiful art form left for us by our foreparents who were taken from their home in Africa and brought to the Caribbean. Because calypso is really an African praise song which tells the stories of life in song. So in the glory days of Africa, you used to have these praise singers moving from communities to communities, singing about life stories and things that happen. And it is that tradition that they were able to bring in the holds of the slave ships to the Caribbean region. And that is why in the early days of calypso, on the plantations, you know, they had to hide to practice the art and so on. But after chattel slavery, and even during chattel slavery, on every plantation, even in Tobago, had calypso going on, right? And after chattel slavery, in the days of colonialism, when we were ruled by the British, there was a heavy-handed oppression of the calypso art by the colonial rulers, which even continued under the neo-colonial people who took over. In that, it was illegal to have a calypso tent. And it was only in 1923 when a guy called Railway Douglas, he had the first calypso tent in Trinidad and Tobago. And it was still illegal, and it was Uriah Butler, who was allied with our own APT James, that took the issue of calypso tents to the then Legislative Council, which was the parliament in those days, and fought in the 1940s to make it legal to have a calypso tent. So what we are having here now, we must recognize that it took a Herculean struggle by some of our brothers and sisters who came before in order to keep the art alive. Now, there was an incident, for example, when during the 1930s and 40s, calypsonians used to go to the United States to make the songs, right?
Right.
To record. Because at that time, calypso used to play wall to wall from coast to coast in America on radio stations. They didn't have television yet. But the big song in America at that time was calypso. And so these calypsonians like Roaring Lion, Attila the Hun, and so on, Tiger, Lion, they used to go to America, record the songs and bring it in. Now, one of the songs that once they went, and one of the songs that was something against the governor, the British governor, he did not like the song. So it had hundreds of people waiting on the port in Trinidad to hear the songs that the men came back with. And this governor ordered the ships, his coast guard, to go out to the ocean, seize all the records and dump them in the ocean. The point I'm trying to make is that the kind of oppression that the calypso art had to go through to survive. So we can't play around with it, you know what I mean? If you have something that is beautiful and cherished that your foreparents leave for you, it is your right and your duty to ensure that it continues to reach the heights of excellence that it reached. As I tell you that calypso was wall to wall. In fact, the first record that sold 1 million copies was a calypso in the world, 1 million copies. And what has happened, or what happened through the years, is that because calypso was the voice of the people, at that time, when the real voice, to talk about the issues of the day, the oppression, the hardships that our people were going through, because remember at that time, most of our people, the Africans and Indians in Trinidad and Tobago, were an exploited lot. We had nothing to talk about in Tobago here. Calypso was happening because you had calypso. People tell you that you had calypso tents all over Tobago. In Scarborough, we had a guy called Saunders who had a tent. They had a tent in Wilson, where they had one in Rosehill. They had, you hear about calypso coming out of places like Roxborough and Lekoto and so on. So that what we are attempting to do, and what the national leadership headed by Ainsley King is trying to do, is effecting a new revolution in calypso. We intend to pursue a revolution to bring back calypso to the glory days it was at, and to ensure that the roots of calypso remain firm. Because what he was trying to do is to say, well, look, the thing to try thing is soca, so their concept of soca was some naked women with bath suit and women whining on a stage and so on, and men singing about bam bam and all this kind of nonsense and wine. What what has to happen, the message, the Calypso, even though you're singing up-tempo, you could, you know, because Calypso is about entertainment too. It's as involved into that.
So it's certainly for us not to take for granted that foundation in the mix. Candice, I want you to tell us as well, and certainly you must be pleased to have the opportunity of that kind of expertise and experience as part of your team in terms of continuing to move forward with Tuco. For those viewers, tell us about the upcoming initiatives where they can certainly look forward to connecting with Tuco in terms of the roving tent.
Okay, well, people, this Friday, we're at the Soca Under the Salmon Tree, that's up at the Old Market Car Park at Tambourine. So you can come out in your numbers and see the Calypsonians and the soca artists there. On Saturday the 20th, we go to the Ocean View Lounge at Delaford Bay Road. Right, so once again, we urging you, come out in your numbers and let's have a fun time. As they say, true as it is said, Tuco's logo, True Calypso or Stories Are Told. Come out and hear some of our stories. On the 22nd of January, that's on a Monday night, we are hosting the Judges Night, the Tuco Magnificent Glow Judges Night, and that would be at the Fairfield Complex from 7 p.m. Of course, it's a paid event. It's $100. Come out in your numbers. Let's see who are the people qualifying to the next level. Let's get to interact and see what is really taking place in Calypso and Tobago, because as far as I'm concerned, Calypso isn't going anywhere no time soon. Right? On the 26th, that's Friday the 26th, we're at Pembroke. That's at the corner on the main road.
Right.
We have some tentative events like Plymouth. We have Doggy and Ludo. So once again, it's okay to rove with the tent and let's see what the artists, Calypsonians, what they have to offer for this season 2024.
All right. Could you just ensure that you remind us contact information for those persons wanting to reach out or social media to connect with Tuco Tobago region?
Okay, so we have an email address. It's called tucotobago@gmail.com. There's a Tuco line, which is 360-8826. And my personal cell phone, 382-5677.
All right, so we got to leave it there for this morning. Candice Robinson, Chairman and Upukuwari PRO of the Tuco Tobago region. I want to say thank you very much for joining us here in studio, providing us with updates, folks. And have no fear, we're certainly going to be continuing to connect with them as we head on into the Carnival season here in Tobago. All right, viewers, we want to thank you so much for continuing to choose the Tobago Updates morning show. And at this point, we prepare to head on out to a break. We want to remind you that this is your opportunity to share the live. Share the live, share the live.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your life can't get damaged bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tattle is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tattle will always be here for you. Never worry about a thing. Tattle, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Now, if you pull a random person aside and ask them, can you tell me what Tobago's autonomy is all about? Would they be able to answer you? The sad reality is, they wouldn't. Many young persons from the island of Tobago have not been engaging in the discussions when it comes to Tobago's autonomy. And while that may be a problem, thankfully Tobago Updates has found a solution. We have gathered some of Tobago's best and brightest young persons to hear their views, their thoughts and opinions about Tobago's autonomy. Last week, we heard from young people such as Ms. Shada Charles, youth parliamentarian, Keegan Danoon, president of the Boko Village Council and former CARICOM youth ambassador, Darian Mitchell, president for TYC, and myself in my capacity as CARICOM youth ambassador. We touched on the surface a bit, but thankfully, this week, we will be taking things a bit deeper. So, on Wednesday, the 17th of January, tune in right here on Tobago Updates Live at 7 a.m. as we discuss all things Tobago autonomy from a deeper perspective. Is Tobago ready or are we not? We'll find out together.
Yo everyone, it's your boy Harry here from Authentic Builders General Hardware, located right here in Storbe Local Road, Tobago. That's correct, right here in Tobago. And we are offering you guys the best prices on all hardware material. And if you would like to get your free quotation done, all you have to do is WhatsApp us at 272-1990 and we will give you guys the best prices on all hardware material. That is a guarantee as we are matching or beating any quotations. Hello everyone, it's your boy Harry here from Authentic Car Clinic, located right here in Tobago at Storbe Local Road. You can WhatsApp us or call us at 366-4173.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. I am Adana Kambi and we continue conversations in studio with our guest. And this morning we're speaking with Cameron Bruno, and she is the representative, the lone representative for the Division of Finance, Trade and the Economy in the Interdepartment 2024. And I just have to put this out there, we did not plan. The wardrobe situation was not planned this morning, but maybe it might be significant. So we're going to start our conversation one time with Ms. Bruno. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Right, so we're talking about Interdepartment 2024.
Yes.
And we're talking about the Division of Finance, Trade and the Economy. And we understand that you are the lone representative. Usually we have the personality and the calypso, but we have none from you guys. We just have the personality.
Yes.
So, I mean, no pressure. But I mean, the division is waiting for you to bring home that crown. How do you feel?
Yes, I feel really honored to represent the Division of Finance, Trade and the Economy, especially because the division has a lot of representatives in different divisions and units, as well as companies. So I work as a Marketing and Promotions Officer at the Eco-Industrial Development Company, EADCOT Limited. And we just want to be able to have the Division of Finance as an entity, a strong entity, to be able to represent the THA at this competition.
Right. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, of course, it is an honor, of course, to represent all these different departments within the division. Is this your first time with an event, participating in an event like of this nature?
Not at all. So I am the Miss Heritage Personality for 2017. I've also won the 2017 First Citizens National Poetry Slam, and I've also been the 2018 New York City Youth Poet Laureate. So going on the stage and having a personality is something that's not new to me. So I'm really excited to be able to come back to the stage and represent Tobago in a way that feels special to me again.
So you see, I think there's some strategy in this, right? So the division is aware that we don't have a Calypsonian this year.
Right.
So we're going to find somebody who is accustomed to the stage, who knows how to do the thing, so that even if we don't win in the Calypso because we don't have a representative, we have somebody who we know, is an all-rounder.
Yes.
So kudos to you. We see you, Division of Finance, Trade and Economy. We see you, and a fitting representative as well. Can we ask, or is it too much to find out what you are going to bring in terms of your, because I know there are different aspects of the personality show.
Yes.
Are you going to reveal anything to us in terms of what you are going to deliver?
Well, I could give you all a hint and tell you all that the
division's theme is modern money, and I would leave it at that. The theme is modern money. We really want to take an approach that allows for the creativity to mix in with the elements of finance, trade, and the economy, as well as all of the divisions combined. It's a really strong place for us to continue to market and promote the different financial entities that are under us, as well as some of the financial goals that we would like to instill into youths, into the communities, into other persons who are interested in investments and budgets and stuff like that. So it's really just an opportunity for us to expand our outreach in the financial sector.
Well, I know Tobago has a lot of creative talent, and it will be very interesting to see how this is going to unfold on the stage. All the things that you itemize in terms of the objectives for your delivery on the night. You know, I really am, I mean, finance has been doing a lot of wonderful things. So I'm excited to see how are you going to talk about money? How are you going to talk about all the different departments and your goals and your objectives? How are you going to deliver that culturally and engaging the audience for entertainment purposes, and also sending a message for people to actually think and ponder and take action, you know? So for me, the way I measure success is the actionable steps that people take, you know? So I really am interested to see how that is going to play out on that evening. What is the preparation like for you?
The preparation is just as ordinary, as this is something that I'm accustomed doing. When it comes down to talent and working with the team, it's really about open communication and being able to relate to the different divisions, because we do have a lot of entities, making sure that everyone is familiar with the culture and with finance, as they should be, but just having that sort of extracurricular activity and just that thing that they would be able to be excited to and look forward to when it comes to community building.
Yes, guys, this is Cameron on the camera here on the screen here. Mud and Money, that is their theme. Flow with Finance. Get your package. Well, they have their packages for, I suppose, your members of staff.
Yes, so, and we're also inviting other people. Let's say that you are in a division
Hello.
to represent
Hello.
the best division out there. We have packages available for the public. So it comes with your jersey, it comes with other promotional material, and also entry into the night. We're also inviting the public, if it is that you're not necessarily you're unsure as to which division that you want to come to. I would say that division of finance, trade, and economy has the vibes. We're inviting the public to join with us in celebrating this big event.
And how confident do you feel? I know you said you've participated in events of this nature before. So how confident do you feel? Have you met the other representatives, and what is the relationship there? And how do you feel in terms of your own personal confidence?
Yes, so I'm really strong in myself in knowing that I always put my best foot forward, and I'm always excited regardless of the results, because judges will judge. It's really about the audience and being able, as you said, to have those actionable steps to be able to push it forward. We're not necessarily doing this just for inter-department, but it's more of a long-term goal for us. I haven't met any of the other contestants, but there have been some whispers of the other participants who would be at the competition, and I'm really excited to communicate with them and collaborate with them for the entire entity, because at the end of the day it is still a show, and we do want to be able to have a very good production to be able to represent the Tobago House of Assembly in a good light during the carnival season.
You see, I like your perspective on this, not being about your personal development only or your position in the competition only, but actually wanting to have a good production. And I know inter-department usually is a good show, so having that as part of your vision also lends to the success of the event as well. And you also spoke about not just performing for the night and the results of the night, but also how do you move forward from there as well, which also is very commendable. I want to commend you and all the participants for the event, both inter-department, personality, and Calypso, because it is not an easy thing to face a public. It's not easy to take a stage as confident as you might be. Sometimes when you're like 2 seconds away from that stage, you kind of get jitters, Sometimes you have to bring yourself back down and calm yourself down. So commendations to you, commendations to all the participants, all the competitors in this event. Commendations even for the Tobago House of Assembly for keeping this an annual thing. I know we had a break when we went through that period of COVID, and I just want to commend you for coming back out and trying to come back out strong and giving Tobago a good cultural experience where this is concerned with Tobago in the National Carnival aspect of things. Is there anything you want to share with us again in closing?
Yes, absolutely. I just want to urge the public, if it is that you're interested in jersey collection or jersey purchasing for the Knights of Inter Department, you can contact Shanika at 639-4412 extension 52115. Jersey fittings are spanning through the 18th of January and payment deadline is on the 24th of January.
Right, awesome. So you can contact someone there to get your t-shirts. The t-shirts looking good, man. Right, and of course there are different packages that you can also get if you're interested in, depending on your budget and depending on your needs. Of course, those things are available for you. Cameron, I want to say thank you so much for gracing our studio and having this conversation with us as it speaks to Interdepartment 2024, representing the Division of Finance, Trade and the Economy, sending their lone competitor for this competition and hoping to bring home the crown, somebody who is used to the field of entertainment and also being on the stage. So there's not much fright there. There's somebody who's composed and kind of understands the game, and also who wants to ensure that the other competitors and the show itself is something of good quality for us here to consume in Tobago. And it's not only limited to the Tobago audience. If you are from any part of the world and you happen to be in Tobago at that point in time, come on over to the Interdepartment. You'll see something that is culturally specific to Tobago, the way we do things, the way we display our art and our culture for Carnival 2024. So this is an open invitation again. Commendations to the Tobago House of Assembly for continuously hosting this event. We want to say thank you to all of you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we end our conversations with our guests in studio. But of course, we continue our programming. We're going to head on over to GMT with Candice Jackson in a short. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, before we go, we always encourage you, and I want you to join with me to say the tagline. This is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
The initiative, aligned with the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, aims to protect and promote the relevance of Tobago's underwater past.
Tobago, as you know, is an island that's exceedingly rich in history. Normally, when we talk about the island being very rich in history, our reference is to the land. All right? But as you know and appreciate, our history is also quite immense and large underwater.
Acknowledging a tumultuous history suffered onto Trinidad and Tobago by the Dutch, Ambassador to the Kingdom of the Netherlands, His Excellency Cornelius Hersbach, explains that the countries have since enjoyed excellent bilateral relations. This continues today with the launch of the Maritime Archaeological Diving Training.
We believe that cultural heritage is of great value in an ever-changing world. Knowledge of the past helps us all to understand the here and now, as well as supporting our future endeavours. This appreciation for each other's countries continues to this very day. My gratitude is also, of course, to the various representatives of the THA, with whom we jointly celebrate the start of this training today.
The marine exploration of Tobago has captured the attention of historical enthusiasts and researchers, given the many battles fought from the 16th to the 18th century.
Given the historical significance of each and every ruin, artifact, and the structural that remains submerged in our marine spaces, namely Rockley Bay, which is the site of this project, which is adjacent to our current port of entry at Scarborough. This project provides an avenue to gain much needed research, development, and the possibility of eventual excavation of such artifacts, which even further provides Tobago with an attraction worth coming to see, experience, and hear about.
Specialist in maritime archaeology and underwater cultural heritage management, Professor Martijn Manders, will lead the exercise.
We're doing training, so we are going into the classroom and we do the theory again. But not only that, we're picking up our dive stuff and we're going out and we're doing underwater archaeology, but especially underwater archaeological heritage management. That means we're not just picking things up from the seabed and putting them into a museum. We're thinking about how can we implement cultural heritage into society.
A total of 18 university students from throughout the region will be guided by archaeological diving experts over a 3-week period. During this time, they are also expected to encourage community interaction. I'm Ron McCool for Let's Talk Tobago.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
You come in. Long time I see you. This station pumping. Ready for children party. Mommy! Jay, you can't go nowhere with these children. And you know you can't depend on Kevin neither Stephen to see about them. Yes, total waste. So I supposed to stay home whole time? Jada is 12. She could see about them. You just leave Jada to see about Kia and Kayla? I thought it's your mother or your sister. Who? Them always busy. Jada could handle that. She cooking and cleaning a long time. And the next two, better know what time it is. It's only me, you know. I will talk to my mother. She just home these days. She will make sure the children okay. Alright. Let me see the moves for later.
Before you ramage, make sure the children okay. Call 996 to report all child abuse now. A message from the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago.
Your destiny. The best way to predict it is to create it. Do you see yourself exploring exotic destinations or spending quality time with family? However you see yourself, create your own retirement destiny with Tata Life's Destiny Personal Savings Booster. Choose from one of 3 investment options with guaranteed minimum investment returns to secure a monthly retirement income for life, with the option to choose your retirement age. So what's your retirement destiny? Call 62TATIL or visit tatil.co.tt to learn more today. Conditions apply. Tatil Life, a member of the Ansa Makal Group.
Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad, and the region, with a perfect conversation to complement your morning routine. I am Candace Jackson, and let's get started with the news in 90 seconds. A call via social media for persons to protest for outstanding payments owed to the Tobago Heritage 2023 service providers failed yesterday, with only 2 individuals present but hesitant to speak on camera. Secretary of the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation, Tasha Barris, showed up at the protest site despite feeling unwell and addressed the situation of delayed payment. She said there were challenges due to the recent procurement legislation. She also highlighted an existing policy to streamline performer engagement. Barris expressed a commitment to enforce the policy and address outstanding payments in the shortest possible time. Up next, Minority Leader Kelvin Morris hand-delivered a letter to the Auditor General in Port of Spain, Trinidad, yesterday, as he called for a comprehensive audit into the spending irregularities by the THA for the Tobago October Carnival 2023. Morris alleged that although $9.5 million was budgeted for the carnival, the actual expenditure reported by the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation was lower. Morris insisted these irregularities needed an investigation. He also sent similar letters to the Minister of Finance, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, and the Chief Administrator. And finally, a new dress code policy was implemented in offices across Trinidad yesterday, aimed at establishing an inclusive dress code to improve the quality of public service. Senator Alison West reassured that the Ministry of Public Administration will not be adhering to outdated rules and policies. The policy was influenced by public feedback and research addressing issues such as denial of service, global trends, and the non-alignment with government policies. Throughout the implementation process, 430 frontline staff underwent training on the policy and the proper treatment of the public regardless of attire. And that was your news in 90 seconds. And viewers, shifting away from the news and jumping into our conversation this morning, we're continuing our conversations on Carnival because, of course, we got a whole lot happening here in Tobago. Well, of course, that's kind of debatable right now because, there's been that talk on the ground that it's been too quiet. Carnival is less than a month away, but it's been a little bit too quiet. But, while we are talking about Carnival, we're also seeing where our different associations are coming together, particularly the Tobago Promoters Association. They were formed last year and they held their first election. And among the people that were elected were Mr. Kevin McKenna, who is the president. But we are being joined by the vice president this morning, Mr. Quincy Trim. So a special good morning and welcome to you, sir, and congratulations in your new post.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Let me say thanks to all the promoters that showed the confidence in me once again to be elected as the vice president.
All right. So first of all, for those people who are not aware, just give us an idea of who the Tobago Promoters Association is, or what it is, sorry.
So the Tobago Promoters Association was actually founded in 2022 as we saw the implementation or the start of the Tobago Carnival in 2022. It's a body really to help the promoters to talk to stakeholders such as the police, CUT, EMA, and also as a buffer between Trinidad and Tobago, because as you all know, Trinidad and Tobago has their own Promoters Association in Trinidad, headed by Rome. So it's really just to help promoters to really get to where they want to where they want to go in terms of doing events, not just for the Tobago Carnival, but throughout the year.
All right. Now, looking ahead to this year, what are some of the things that you guys are looking forward to doing or making things happen so that, promoting events, we can, when we promote events and so on, or when we do events, the quality is way better than it has been in the past?
So, we're at a great point in Tobago in terms of promotion and parties. I feel like we have seen a rapid growth from when I started in 2017 to now. The quality is definitely better. I won't say we're almost there, but we are knocking on the door of certain parties being as the same quality as Trinidad. This year we are very excited because we saw a growth in participation and the number of patrons in 2023 Carnival. We are at a great position as an association, as also as promoters, because we saw a lot of local promoters really take that next step in terms of quality and the amount of persons at the events. This year we are very excited. You all may see the first ever Tobago Promoters Association Superfest. It's in the works, and you all will be definitely seeing the Carnival launch earlier from a private sector standpoint, our standpoint, where we'll be doing more promotion, more marketing through a lot of different mediums as an association, as also as individual promoters.
Now, as we're speaking about Carnival a little bit, it's been very quiet on the ground, and we heard from the Secretary of Tourism yesterday that, there's on the THA end of things, they're still planning for Carnival. But we haven't seen in the way of fetes and so on, we haven't seen too much of that being marketed so far for the season for the February Carnival. What can you tell us about what's happening there from the promoter standpoint?
So from the promoter standpoint, we actually have we have the Isle of Soca series. That is a staple in the National Carnival events. We also have floats and bikinis coming on the 27th. That is done by Dynasty Events, one of the larger promoters in Tobago. We also have Sam Soca After Mass, which begins on the 16th. We have Soca Junkie on the 28th of January, done by Wacky Entertainment. So there's not as much parties as before, because I feel like most persons are now focusing on shifting towards the October Carnival, but there are still premium events that local patrons as well as persons after the Carnival can come and experience.
When we also spoke to the chairman of NCC yesterday, Mr. Winston Gypsy Peters, he said, Tobago should, forget having carnival events, but focus more on that cool down side of things, because, Tobago is a place to be after Carnival for a lot of those people that are partying in Trinidad. You come to Tobago, have your cool down and so on. What do you all think about that?
I think you could do both. So, for instance, we don't need 100 parties in the National Carnival, but we do need a little taste of the Carnival experience for the simple fact that it is very expensive for Tobagonians to run down to Trinidad to party every week. So if you can have 4, 5, 6 quality events where locals could actually go out to a premium all-inclusive, a paint and water party, have the same experience as Trinidad, but also offer that premium after Carnival experience, then we could merge the two and have a perfect little complement.
And then, you know, when it comes to even just collaborating with each other and so on, I mean, to make sure that we have good events on the island, what can you tell us about, you know, where you guys are thinking for this year?
So last year we had a lot of collaborative events. We had two that comes to mind is Rebel Road, which featured DXL Promotions and Dynasty Promotions events, but we also had Team Control and Kalingo Sons, which offered Last Lap as well as Last Lap, which featured Young Brother on the day after Carnival. I think moving forward, promoters in Tobago realize that there is a need for us to collaborate on certain events to really draw that quality and that quantity that we're looking for. And for sure in 2024 you'll have more collaborative events between promoters, including coming into the Trinidad market, because a lot of Trinidad promoters are calling, asking to collaborate, and we are more than open to the idea. We actually welcome the idea, so you will definitely be seeing more collaborative events.
And then what about throughout the year?
We have a full calendar, so I think what we need to do, and we have discussed it in our last general meeting, is that we need to launch a year calendar. So for Easter weekend, you have the XL Promotions doing Rumbum, you have Team Control doing Crowd Control, you have Hush on Easter Monday, we have events in May, we have Bay Weekend, we have Pure, we have events in June with Paints. We have events on the calendar. We really just need to promote it more, so locals will know exactly what it have each month. But I can guarantee you that in Tobago, at this point in time, there's almost an event every month.
You know, there's always been a challenge, you know, in terms of marketing just events and so on. There's a lot of people that say, you know, it's the THA that needs to market. And then there's also those that are saying that, you know, the promoters themselves or whatever niche product that they have, those are the people that need to market their own as well. What do you think when it comes to marketing? Who should be responsible for marketing to make sure that we can get enough buy-in?
I believe it's a partnership. You need both entities to market. So we need the THA to do that marketing to get persons on the island, but when persons on the island come, you need to have enough marketing for them to know what is going on. So it's a twofold. It's a partnership. We definitely have to hold each other's hands. But I do think that in the past, the last 2 years, I think that private stakeholders may have dropped the ball a little bit, and we need to just pick it up, learn from the experiences that we had, and market the Carnival more, because we are the persons who really, I won't say run the Carnival, but we are the persons who have the most to gain from the Carnival. So we need to just work a little harder in terms of marketing and make sure that when persons get to the island, they know exactly what mass bands are available, what juve bands are available, and what parties are available. And I think that we also need the buy-in of the THA to market earlier, maybe launch earlier, but it definitely has to be a partnership. We need to hold each other's hands to get to the end goal.
And what is the relationship with the THA like at this point in time in terms of, you know, making sure that there is that synergy as you guys plan your events and market it?
So last year we had a good relationship. We actually met with a lot of officials throughout the process. It wasn't the perfect relationship, but it's getting there. I think this year, as the private stakeholders become more tangible, become more recognizable, we could get a better relationship. But the THA is very important in this carnival. It's a young carnival, and eventually you may not need the THA as much, but for the first couple of years we'll need the buy-in of the THA. But the relationship has been a good working relationship, but there's always room for improvement.
And you know, I've been hearing that quite a lot throughout. You know, it wasn't the greatest in the start, but there has been a lot of improvements throughout as you guys continue to meet and collaborate.
Yeah, for sure. You know, nothing starts perfect. It's a learning experience. Here's our first carnival in 2022, the first festival of this magnitude. And you know, as the carnival gets bigger, as you grow, you'll obviously learn from previous years. Like this year for sure, I know that the Promoters Association is going to launch their calendar most likely Easter weekend. Don't hold me to it, but we'll be very early. We'll be having more type of podcasts, more type of interviews like this. So persons will know for sure, because most promoters already have their dates, they already have their events, they already have their teams. So it's really just for us to hit the ground running, market it more, may see us in Trinidad more, may see us on billboards in Trinidad. It's really just about taking the carnival from one level to the next by learning from the mistakes of previous years.
And then what about, collaborating with the mass bands and so on? Because, we see that happening in Trinidad quite a lot, where mass bands might collaborate with events and so on. And, it's a whole product. You package everything together and so on. Are we going to see a bit more of that this year?
Yeah, definitely. Because even coming down to closer to Carnival last year, we had a good working relationship with the Mass Band Association. And with that, you really get the buy-in of the promoters, because you need to help each other out. And I feel like coming down to the end of Carnival last year, we definitely did. So this year, for sure, you'll see more promoters maybe collaborating and also having sections in mass bands and juve bands. We have begun talks with certain bands and certain juve bands, so definitely that will be happening this year.
Mm-hmm. And then what are you looking forward to the most for this year?
The growth, the overall growth. Last year I was pleasantly surprised by the amount of successful events. I probably went to 14, maybe 15 events over the weekend, and each event offered something unique. Each event was great. The quality was good. The number of patrons that attended was great. It's good to see that we got more buy-in from the Tobagonians. Yes, you'll have the foreign markets. Yes, you'll have the local markets in terms of Trinidadians. But it was good to see the amount of Tobagonians actually going out and enjoying themselves over the weekend and really being proud of the carnival and participating in the carnival. And secondly, the road experience. Last year was my first time ever playing mass, and it happened to be in Tobago. It was a great experience, safe experience. It was really good to see persons on the side of the streets really engaging and participating and spectating from the mass. My greatest or my best experience from last year was actually seeing a little child on the side of the road just walk into the band and start enjoying herself. And it's good that we could see those type of interactions, and we really need to focus in on the fact that it's so safe and so nice to participate on the road in Tobago. And the road experience was 10 out of 10. I went with Iconic Mass. Great experience, and I really want everyone to try, well, most Tobagonians to come out. If you never played mass, come and try Tobago for the first time before you enter into maybe regional or even Trinidad.
Mm-hmm. And then what do you think is leading to we're finally getting that bigger buy-in from the Tobago public?
I think that you really have to see Tobagonians as a seafood culture. So in 2022, we saw that mass bands, the quality of the mass was good, the juve bands were good. Persons who attended the parties were pleased and happy. So, you'll continue to see that growth, because more Tobagonians will now say, okay, last year I saw that event was nice. Maybe this year I'll experience it for myself, first-hand experience. And then I think it also came down to the fact that the marketing was better. Persons knew exactly what was going on when it was happening. So those two things kind of coupled together to make the carnival grow naturally.
And we are certainly looking forward to see, what you guys have in store for this year. Looking out for that calendar. You said around May, hopefully around May.
Guaranteed before May, maybe Easter weekend.
Right. Awesome. So, as we're wrapping up, I just want to give you the opportunity if you have any last few words that you want to leave with us this morning.
Really, let's just take this carnival. Like, this is our carnival. Let's make it grow. Let's make it fun. Let's make it entertaining. Let's make it very Tobagonian. Let's not lose the identity and try to be like any other carnival, but let us make our own product. Tobago is a great island, safe island. Tourism and entertainment can merge, and we could make Carnival in Tobago one of the best in the region.
All right, well, thank you so much, Quincy Jones, the newly elected Vice President of the Tobago Promoters Association, as we speak a little bit about Carnival, not so much about February Carnival, but more focusing on the Tobago October Carnival. And what we're seeing is that a lot of the bands, the promoters, everybody seems to be a bit more focused on that Tobago Carnival, because of course that's when we get a little bit more attention here for the adults and so on. But that's a conversation that we will continue to develop as the days and weeks go on, as we look at to see what's also going to roll out for February. Because it's interesting times as we try to figure out that part of us. All right, so viewers, please don't go anywhere. We got a lot more coming up for you after the break.
A brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice car get damaged bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. Never ever worry if sickness catch you off guard. I tell them never ever worry if times fall on you real hard. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Hello everyone, it's your boy Harry here from Authentic Car Clinic, located right here in Tobago at Storby Local Road. You can WhatsApp us or call us at 366-4173.
Hello guys, welcome. Come have a seat. Oh, this is so stylish and I love the fabric. Darlings, you must tell us where you got your new furnishings.
We got them locally at Standard. They've got new chic European furniture, crafted from high quality material.
Oh, Standard?
No, it's Standard, their brand new Hive collection.
Experience luxurious European furniture at a price you will love. The Hive collection, now exclusively available at Standard.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Good morning, Tobago on Tobago Updates. Viewers, we are now switching our gears to what's going on with fishing. So we are being joined by Mr. Curtis Douglas, and of course he's the president of the All Tobago Fisher Folk Association. Good morning and welcome to you, Mr. Douglas. How are you?
Good morning to you. I'm fine, thank you. Happy New Year to Trinidad and Tobago and the entire Caribbean and the world. So good morning, and it's a pleasure to be here this morning to share some information that of current and present development that is taking place in the fishing industry, also in the energy industry, what is really taking place for Tobago. When everybody is preparing for Carnival, we're preparing to survive.
Certainly.
Survive. So.
And when you talk about Carnival, you have to also talk about Lent, and
yes.
the whole fish conversation comes into play.
Correct.
So how are things right now as in terms of being able to catch fish to supply the market here in Tobago?
Well, the fish supply is a bit down right now. We realize the type of fish we are catching now is not the normal type we're catching the traditional fish we are accustomed catching throughout the years. We've seen a lot of changes, and a lot of new pattern has been developed in terms of the behavior of the fish and stuff like that from the fisher folk, from report and data that we were ascertaining and observing. And what we realize is that most of these patterns stem from, lights, with the Bajans continue to give the fish lights, and they are still in our waters. That conversation still need to be had with a meeting with the Chief Secretary. Well, due to Mr. Child's funeral, we couldn't have really met because of that situation and Pandy. So we guess going forward, we'll have a tentative date where we're going to meet and discuss and lay out some rules and regulations to benefit Tobago and to ensure that you all have all your staple on the table. Yeah.
Certainly. But what are some of those things? You mentioned that there is different patterns in terms of the fish and even where they are and all of that stuff.
Right.
What are you noticing out there?
What we are noticing is that we are seeing less of the kingfish given the time span in which where they're supposed to be harvested, and we are seeing less in the dolphin and some of the barracudas. We are seeing a depletion in those, and we're also seeing a depletion and a different type of behavior from the flying fish. Normally the flying fish will be netting. They are not netting, they are there, they're not netting, and they're behaving a bit strange. So we are observing all of that, and we are also looking at the size of dolphin that we catch different time of the year. They are depleting. We are still catching some big ones, not few, but not in the amount, in the quantity that we are accustomed normally. And we are also seeing a great decline in the wahoo kingfish and the black-eye kingfish more so. So what we were doing, because we were trying to get some black-eye kingfish to do some tests abroad to ensure that the fish are not contaminated. So we're working with a team to ensure we send abroad so that they test the fish so that we know what we're consuming is healthy, because we have to be aware of pollution, because we have a lot of pollution. We have a lot of water streams running through. People is not practicing proper, safe pollution measures. They just throw things in the drain and obviously end up in the sea. So we want to test what we consume to ensure that the people and my brothers and sisters are consuming healthy staples.
So while we are seeing a decline in the kingfish and so on, are we seeing an increase in any type of other fish around the waters?
Candice, the only thing that we are seeing increase in Tobago is what we know, which is oil and gas exploration. That is the only increase that we are seeing. In terms of benefiting the normal individual of Tobagonian, we are not seeing an increase in that, but we are seeing an increase in the presence of oil companies or energy companies collaborating. They are collaborating now to ensure that they drive us down the tube even more. So, it is sad that, these entities are not willing to work with the fishing community, because Tobago are saturated as surrounded with fishing community. Almost every village are a fishing community once you live on the shore. So, and we are seeing a great increase in those kind of behavior. And we also seeing with their behavior, with last year November they had a seismic survey over the coast of outside of Lambo and on the way. Hence the reason why we would have seen some dolphin wash ashore. Right? Remember, I don't know if you could remember some dolphin wash ashore in Storby.
Yes.
And they were saying it's because of the exercise. So what they did, when dolphins most likely are affected, not only kingfish, mammal do be affected. So you find they will behave erratically and run to shore confused, because that constant noise drive them mad. So we've been observing this for over 15 years.
And this is even with the dolphin that you normally would see when you go out around Kasara and so on.
Yes, I'm not talking about mai. I'm talking about the flipper, the dolphin, the bottlenose dolphin. Those dolphins, they behave erratic, and if they have ways, they even try to come ashore. So, and hence the reason why we are seeing a decline in the amount of catch. Because what it does, what seismic survey does, it runs the fish for at least 3 to 4 or even 5 years so you chase them away. And right now we're supposed to be harvesting with the Orinoco, with the plankton that's coming down and the flying fish feeding on it and the laying and spawning. We're supposed to be in the peak season of flying fish. We're supposed to be peaking. We're supposed to be seeing flying fish on every doorstep of a Tobagonian, right? We're supposed to have flying fish by in droves. Because, you know, a lot of people, they say what we're talking about. I don't know if memory serve me right. In 2005, right? I think Royal Castle and KFC would have stopped flying fish on the table. That's because of the Bajan overfishing and the reckless behavior. So the amount that we used to get, we're not getting it anymore. So obviously if you can't provide it, you can't serve it. So these are things, the measures that we need to put in place. We are not saying over and over, we are saying we are not coming here to condemn anybody. We're here to work with and also share because it's CARICOM. Because just now here we're running boats from Tobago to Trinidad, to Barbados, to Grenada, to probably Ghana. So I mean it's CARICOM, but it must have rules and rules must be followed and we must be able to preserve. If you got a mango tree and every time it be a cut a limb, obviously you're gonna have no branches. And with no branches, that means we'll have no fruits. So we have to safeguard and protect and use the science as well, and also the experience and the data to ensure that, you know, Tobagonians are well in the food chain and remain in the food chain. Because there's a growing number of energy. I mean, come on, when you look down at Storby, which we know for years, that the amount of trillion of gas it has. You understand? We have gas and nobody's talking about, you know, and when we're having discussion and meeting with these oil giants, we are talking, they don't even want to put a little refinery in Tobago, a small refinery in Tobago, so that we could be self-sustainable. No, everything is Trinidad, nothing is Tobago. And we are saying it is Trinidad and Tobago, and we must be able to work in collaboration with each other because we are one. And if we are one, we need to be treated as one. Right? So these are some of the issues and some of the strain that we are facing today right now in the diaspora of the fishing industry and also with the energy industry, right?
Certainly. And we saw earlier last week, there was the unveiling of some equipment that was that was just sitting there for 20 years that was meant to start the live bait industry. Have you guys been able to do anything with that yet? Because I know that, of course, it was a collaboration between TADCO and ADFA, and in particular Plymouth.
Yes.
So what's the latest update on that live bait equipment and being able to get it out into the water and test it out and so on?
All right. Well, I just want the public to understand. Imagine the Japanese would have given us a net to help us in the future for food security, and those that will empower them took that net and send it to Trinidad and have it packed up in a warehouse for over 20 years. We've been trying to get this thing over 15 years. Mr. Kwashi, Mr. Douglas, we've been fighting to get this net, but finally I must say it arrived. It did arrive. And through the assistance of Ms. Pantin, Nigel Tate, and the Chief Secretary. Imagine the Chief Secretary be calling and asking, listen, this belongs to us. Could you send out what belongs to us? And they are denying that. They are denying Tobago what belongs to Tobago. We haven't received the van. We haven't received the power washer. We haven't received all the item. But we say, thank God, we received the net. So we will take it from there. So in the terms of what we have done thus far, Candice, in the terms of the net, since the last time we would have unveiled the receiving the nets in Tobago. Tomorrow, which is Wednesday, we are going to go thoroughly through the net to ensure there is no damages, and any damages, any repairs, we're going to do that. So that is a collaboration with TADCO, Mr. Alfred, and also Plymouth, and also ADFA. So Mr. Koshi from ADFA and everybody will be there. So we'll go through it, see the operation, because Mr. Koshi know the ins and outs of the net, the operations of the net, the years of the net. Mr. Roberts, Frederick Roberts from Belgarden, who was part of initiating, making the net. And we also have a book. We also have a guide to guide us how to set the net, and to, in case we should get a little bit of lapse through memory, set the net, and hoping within the next couple of years we could be able to have a next net like that through Japan. So we also planning a trip to Japan to ensure to build back that relationship, because when you give somebody something, you expect them to use it, and when they don't use it, obviously that relation, they are hurting your heart, they're breaking your feelings. So we now have to try to mend back that sort of relationship and collaboration with outside entity, which is the Japanese population and government, to ensure that we could build, because today could be setnet, tomorrow we don't know what, and we must use their technology in order to safeguard and to protect our food security. So we are grateful to them, and we are grateful that we have the setnet, and we are grateful to TATCO and to ATFA to ensure that we could now be able to harbor and create a sense of bait and a sense of financial forex for Tobago, right? Because when you're paying for the bait, you pay for the bait in US. But the local guys and they who come with a little pirogue and one little thing, TT, we'll charge TT. But all those longliners who come in, they have to pay in US. Some Trinidad from up the islands who come in to collect bait, we pay in US, you make a call, we set up the system, and we also have a database collection, so we know what quantum of bait comes out, so we could now have a scientific valuation of what our fish stock on the west coast, east-west coast are, so that we could be able to treat with it in a respectable manner.
Is this one of the reasons why we haven't seen any major thrust towards longline fishing? Is it because that getting the bait, I mean, you will have to buy it from foreign places? Is that one of the reasons why that more people have not taken up the opportunity to invest into long bait fishing?
There are three major reasons why we haven't taken up a lot of people haven't took the opportunity. The first one is funding. These boats are very expensive, right? They are very expensive, right, to purchase. And Tobagonians are not that wealthy as Trinidadians. We'll just take out 10 million and buy a boat and etc. Right? We have to go through ADB Bank, and ADB Bank is not really sustainable in that form to really assist due to the jargons and how they operate. Right? Secondly, yes, the baiting industry is one of the major things. So because when you have the boat, you have to get bait, and to go to Grenada, you have to go to Grenada and up the islands, not even the island, Grenada for bait, right? And then to come back, right? So that is the second part. The third issue or major issue we have is a port. That docking facilities, whereby we dock, you pull up and you offload, and somebody take your catch and export your fish. We don't have that facility. The only jetty we have, we try to upgrade Plymouth, right? And they are trying now to upgrade Palatavia, and you see Charlottesville as it's situated at this time. All of these ports need upgrading, but we need a separate and apart port, so that when we dock, you could record, you could catch the data, how much tuna, how much kingfish. So we have a scientific data, so we collect. So one place, so you dock, you pay your rent to dock, you get your water, you get your ice, you get your fluid, and you prepare to go to your journey once more. So those are one of the main three issues that surrounding reason why a lot of Tobagonian hasn't really embarked in that. Because when you're paying for a 150, you're paying something like $125,000, $140,000 for an engine. I haven't talked about the boat, which is cost about $80,000, $85,000, right? And as a poor man, you go to the bank, they limit how much money that you would get. But a car they would give you, right? But to invest, right, they sort of like stipulate or measure you, right? So that is one of the reasons why. And for this to embark, we have to have more cooperation, more help from other financial institutions to embark in this. And they will not want to invest when you do buy a boat, you have to go to dock in Trinidad. That means your crew have to be in Trinidad. That means you have to move to Trinidad. So we want something to be able to dock in Tobago, to come to the port in Tobago, so that we have free access. I say, honey, I'm going to sea for 2 weeks now. So you just take your car, she drop you off with your gears, you jump on your ship by the port, by the designated port, you get all the clearance you need to get, and you go out to work and come back. And you could also be tracked by phone or by computer. So this is the way forward.
Yes.
This is the way forward. But this is part of the reason why, Candice, as I explained, why Tobagonians hasn't embarked in it, because it's high cost. This is not a pirogue, right? It's a long line I'm talking about from here to Charlottesville in lines, right? Length, right? In clips running from here to Charlottesville. So when you pull that, you have your winch pulling that, and when you pull, you see the tuners and stuff like that. So it's a different type of fishing compared to when we run out for 4 hours or 8 hours, or run 40 miles and come back in the night. You leave here 5 o'clock in the morning, you come home 10 o'clock in the night. We are talking about we leave here on Monday and come home back next week Tuesday, or next week Friday, or next week Saturday. 2 weeks, 3 weeks at sea. And when we're coming back here with tons of tuna and dolphin and other bycatch.
All right. Well, I want to thank you so much, Mr. Douglas. We are out of time for this morning conversation, but of course, we are going to continue connecting with you as we have always done in the past couple of years. All right.
Thank you for having me, Candice. And I just want to say, I want Tobagonians to be aware. Tobagonians, we had to unite. We have to come together. We need to put aside all our differences and come together to build a better Tobago, but we must be able to do it together. We need to stop fighting and work together. We need to build the fishing industry. We need to build our economy. We need to build our education system where we can sell our education. We need to educate our people on our island that basically would provide for us and our children and our children's future. We need to work together and put aside that. But we only could do it together, from agriculture to fishing to economics, to everything. But we need to work together.
Thank you so much, Mr. Douglas. And viewers, we're going to go for a quick break, so please don't go anywhere.
Go. It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise.
Don't be fearful or ignorant about diseases. The opportunity to learn how to effectively work with or even reverse sicknesses is here. Do you know someone that is suffering from an illness? You are invited to come and learn in this in-depth, hands-on training program. Call this number and reserve your space in this God-inspired, hands-on medical missionary training program going on in Tobago. See you there.
Yo everyone, it's your boy Harry here from Authentic Builders General Hardware, located right here in Stobie Local Road, Tobago. That's correct, right here in Tobago. And we are offering you guys the best prices on all hardware material. And if you would like to get your free quotation done, all you have to do is WhatsApp us at 272-1990 and we will give you guys the best prices on all hardware material. That is a guarantee, as we are matching or beating any quotations.
morning, Tobago on Tobago Updates viewers. Now we are switching gears and we're getting into some conversations with CivilNet as we assess what's been happening in Tobago with the THA over the past year, 2022 into 2023. Actually, 2023 to 2024. I'm getting my years mixed up. So to have this conversation with us this morning, we are being joined by the chairman of CivilNet, Mr. Rodney Pigott. So special good morning and welcome to you. How are you doing?
Special good morning to you, Candace. So great to be on your show for the new cycle, this new year that they call 2024.
Yes. So, I mean, before we get started on that too, when we were on the break, Mr. Pigott was telling me something very interesting about 2024. It's not just a new year, but it's a start of another new set of energy. So just give us a little...
Yes. What we were talking about is the new cycle that has just begun on January 15th, Monday. And that is the ending of a great year. And a great year is comprised of 25,800 years. So this is a once in a several lifetimes occurrence, right? Not many people are going to see the ending of a great year and the beginning of another great year. So a new great year is coming into focus. Another 25,800 years is now coming into focus. This is an astrological event. And so that energy is now sweeping through the planet. And what we've seen coming out of the last great year, which was called the Kali Yuga, this was the reign of the ego self, so to speak, where people were mostly concerned about building empires and dominating others. This is the era where you saw the enslavement of the African by two different factions, the Arabs and the Europeans and so forth, where empires were built on the backs of others. So this is what the ego self does. The ego self competes with others and it seeks to expand itself by diminishing others. Well, that era is coming to a close. And the new era coming into space now is where one must become more spiritual, more internal, where the real push is not to be the greatest person on the planet. So I don't want to be greater than you, but to actually be the greatest version of myself. So you see, when everyone focuses on being the greatest version of themselves, then everyone can be the greatest version of themselves. But if I'm focusing right now on being the greatest speaker on this podium, then that means I'm competing against Candace. And so Candace and I cannot be the greatest at the same time. So that's the ego self, and that is what's going out of the space right now, the planet right now. That energy is seeping out like a water hose, and it just drips right now. And so one must now begin to internalize themselves and grow themselves from the inside, cultivate their spirit, as opposed to cultivating the ego self, which is about competition. The spirit is about cooperation. And that's where we have to go at this time in our lives.
And certainly very interesting words this morning, very interesting philosophies all wrapped up in that little couple minutes there. I mean, you learn something new every day, viewers. But, you know, getting into what's happening with the CivilNet survey, where this is the second year running, and you guys are seeking to find out from the public how was the past year in governance for the THA.
Yes, and you were accurate the first time, Candace. It is for the 2022-2023 period.
Okay.
So the first survey covered December 2021 to December 2022, and now this survey covers December 2022 to December 2023. And we're simply seeking from the public, civil society, what's your perception? What's your opinion on how the persons that we have elected to office to mind our business, to mind the business of Tobago, how do you think they have performed? How do you think that entire governance structure has performed? It's not a scientific survey, it's simply an opinion perception. So there are no wrong answers. It's just you now have an opportunity to say how you feel. You have a voice
and to
say
be
how
honest.
you feel. Exactly. Yeah.
And this, like I said, this is the second year running.
This is the
Can
second
you
year.
remind us of what was the result? What were the results from last year's survey?
And the beautiful thing about this, Candace, that's a very good question, is that when you go online to take this survey, and it's available online as well as paper surveys, and we're running out of paper surveys, we've done just about all of them, but the online is still there. It can be found at the URL called tiny URL, so tinyurl.com/rate, RATETHA 23. You go to that, or you can go to Tobago Civil Net's Facebook page,
And get the link.
and it's right there for you. And when you go online to take that survey, at the end of that survey, there is the link that takes you to the results of last year's survey. So anyone can go there and review those results to see the different categories and how it was rated. But from the last survey, the number of people I think that participated in that was about 315, if I'm not mistaken. And from that, the voices that came forward said, look, I don't think you guys did so well in there. You can do better. A lot of the comments was geared towards encouraging them to do better. We know you're young. We know that this is your first time at the wheel. You're not an administration that has been around for the last 20-something years. You just got there. There's going to be some growing pains, right? But we want to see you do better. We want to see you focus on what you know you can do, and you know you can do it. And we want you to do it, because if you do it, if you succeed, then Tobago succeeds. The reason why we put you there, the reason why we, your employers, employed you, is because we saw value in you. And we saw that you had the potential to go into our office, our THA. This is the Tobago House of Assembly, not any party's House of Assembly. This is Tobago's House of Assembly, and we are Tobago. And so the reason we put you there is because we saw the potential for you to improve things, to fix things, to take us up a couple of notches. And we know you can do that, and that's what we want you to focus on doing. Forget about focusing on what someone else has not done. Focus on what you know you can do. You see, and again, this is where that new great year comes in.
Yes.
Stop competing against others. You see, stop trying to be greater than others. Be the greatest version of yourself. And when you focus on being the greatest version of yourself, then there's no boundaries to that. Nothing can stop that part of yourself, that spirit part of yourself, that internal focus of yourself. There's no boundaries to that, because that is infinite. You're part of the infinite spirit. So you're infinite as far as that's concerned. But when you focus on the outside and how far you can go on the outside, you're going to bump up against walls. You will bump up against another person who wants to go in the opposite direction of where you're trying to go, and there's going to be a pushing match, a shoving match, and another world war. And we see all the wars that we have going on all around the place. These are people trying to push this way and push that way on the outside, and they're not focusing on the inside. So this is where we need you to focus. Go inside yourselves. See to it that you know that you could do better. You know what you can do, and just get down to doing it. And when you do that, we the people will see it. And when we give you our performance rating, it will reflect as far as that's concerned.
How important is participating in a survey like this?
It's very important. And let me focus on saying, first of all, that while CivilNet is sort of pushing this, it is a collaboration between CivilNet and the Tobago Council of Elders. Before embarking on it, we consulted with the elders. Is this something that's needed? Should we do this? How should we do this? Will you help us do it? You see, and we got together, we formed a committee, a planning committee, comprised of CivilNet members and the Council of Elder members, and we came together and we met week after week after week. We took our time out, no one paid us, and we met at the library and we put together this project. So this is a collaboration between Tobago CivilNet and the Tobago Council of Elders, and I want to make that known, because we have to know that our elders, not only do they love Tobago, they want to leave a legacy behind of doing their utmost best that they have done all their lives. That they leave a legacy behind of having done all that they could do to help Tobago improve itself, to leave a platform on which you, the youth, can now stand on their shoulders and take Tobago a little bit higher. So we're seeing some very, very good responses. We know that civil society must, this is your duty. As one of our elders says, Elder Reginald Dumas says, that your duty and your right is not just to vote. It's not just that every 4 years that you must go to the polls and tell the governance structure what you think, either by putting them back or taking them out, and we see all the way we communicate on Facebook and the newspaper writings and things of that nature. That's not enough, you see. So we are the ones who must ensure good governance. It's not up to just the governance structure itself. It's we the people, civil society. We must begin to see ourselves, Candace, as employers. And if we are in fact employers, then employers don't go around cussing out their employees. There's no need for that. You are the employer. You don't need to cuss out your employee. You don't need to talk about your employee behind their backs and try to pull them down. This is where the party politics has come in and has divided civil society. Civil society must see itself as one body after the election is over. It's good to have that competition during the election. You want to see who gets in there. But after the election is over, after the campaigning is over, campaigning must come to an end. Not like some suggest that campaigning must go on. Campaigning must come to an end, and everyone must begin to see themselves as Tobago and the employers of those who are in office. Whether or not you're the party that employed them or not, it's too late now for you to say, well, I didn't put them there. They're there now. So you must now put your hands in the wheel and own what is there as your governance structure. And it is your responsibility, our responsibility as employers, to not just backbite against them, gossip against them, but give them our rating, give them our opinion. This is what I think you're doing wrong. This is what I think you're doing right. Please do more of this. You're going in the right direction there. No, you're going off course there. This is what we must do. And if we don't do that, then at the end of the road comes 4 years and want to complain about what they did, what they didn't do. It's too late then. We must do this on not just on an annual basis, but on a regular basis. We must help them to help Tobago grow. So we must help them, not fight against them. We must begin to see ourselves as employers. That's our duty as civil society.
And then what about in terms of whether or not the THA took some of the advice that came out of last year's survey? Did you see any of that making a difference in the way that the THA administration handled their business?
Well, when we looked across the landscape, we saw some changes. We saw some things put in place. We're not going to be arrogant to claim that they did it because of the results of this, because no one from the administration came to us and said, listen, thank you for doing that. We saw some pointers there. You know, while it was 315 people, that was still voices from Tobago. And I have read up on surveys and how surveys are conducted and so forth. And in one instance, I saw that if you have 200 people from a population, that is a good marker to represent that given population and get a 95% confidence rating. So 315 people went over that marker. So yes, you pay attention to that. Even if it's one voice, two voices, you pay attention to what people are saying. So no one came to us and said anything, but we did see some changes. We saw perhaps some improvement in their communication and things of that nature. I don't want to go too far down the road, but I don't want to influence anyone's opinion. But based on what we saw, it appeared to be as if they paid attention to some of the comments and the results coming out of last year's survey. And it would be wise if they actually did. it would be very, very wise.
Certainly. So, and of course, that is the reason why you, the public, should participate in the survey. And Mr. Piggott, just again for the viewers, as we're wrapping up, where can they find the survey?
And you can find the survey again at a URL called Tiny, URL, that is spelled Tiny as in tiny, URL, one word, .com /rate, RATE, THA 23. Or you can go to the Facebook page of Tobago Civil Net, and the link is there. Or you can simply call me at 323-1958. I'll be more than happy to provide you with the link to that survey. And we want to encourage everyone to participate. Don't look at it as something as if someone's doing something against someone else. Again, we are the employers. Employers do not do things against their employees. Employers want their employees to succeed. Because if the employees succeed, the business that the employer employed them to manage succeeds. So see yourself as the employer, whether you're on this side or that side, whether you call yourself PNM, PDP, TPP, IDA, no matter what you call yourself. You're civil society at this moment. There's no election going on. Therefore, your focus should be on Tobago. Respond to the survey.
All right, so thank you so much, Mr. Piggott. And viewers, of course, thank you for joining us this morning and for being with us this morning. And of course, hope you have a safe and wonderful day. And we would see you again tomorrow. So see you then.
Good morning, Tobago.